out of bed, bitch, go. Get up and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Monday. You've made it to the morning spread right here on the Betting News Network. I'm your host, Nate Horn. I'm better known online as Shaggy Bets. I got producer Sook helping me out in the shadows today, and we're getting ready to start your week. 1 week closer to football, people. We are just, 2 weeks away. On Saturday, a little under 3 weeks away from college football, blessing our screens. August 29th, week 0 action. College football quickly approaching. NFL going to be right behind them. But NFL preseason getting started this week as well. We were blessed with a very entertaining Hall of Fame game last Thursday, to say the least, between the Panthers and Cardinals. It was a close match, lots of points. Great for the fans to kind of kick off the season of the gridiron. But we've got NFL preseason on our screens this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, following week, and then one more week of preseason. So football, man, right around the corner. You can smell it in the air. You gotta love it. Plenty of baseball on today as well. I will have a best bets piece out at the end of this show shortly after, but we will be doing some live MLB labbing today, pulling up the BNN prediction engine, getting its thoughts on the slate. As, we have a decently sized Monday slate. What is this, 10 games? 10 games, it looks like, 20 teams in play today. So should find some spots on the diamond. Jeff giving us what I believe would be some lower level soccer with serious team total over 2.5. Jeff, I'm trying to find that. Well, there it is. Swedish soccer from Mr. Jeff. Serious team total over 2.5. Kicking off in about 58 minutes if you want to get involved with some Swedish soccer. Should I try and pronounce the name of this league? Allsvenskan? The Swedish Allsvenskan? Does that sound right to any of you Swedish folks out there? But Swedish level soccer if you want some action from the man Stifler. What else are we going to talk about today? We're obviously going to continue our Dubs and L's segment. We've got not one, but 2 college football teams we're going to be looking at today, both of them in the Big 12, both of them actually in the great state of Utah. We'll be talking about the Utah Utes and the BYU Cougars towards the end of the show. Hint, I already have a play on the BYU win total. You can peep those scribbles at bettingnews.com as always. Looks like there is a couple of WNBA games today. Don't expect that's from me. It's just not my cup of tea. Toronto and Atlanta and Chicago and Seattle going head-to-head. Utah ain't that great. I've never been there, so I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. It looks pretty in some of the national park photos, as well as Park City. I would love to go skiing out in Park City. Some really good slopes out there in Utah. What else is on the slate today? Like I said, football quickly approaching. We got NFL later this week. I think that about covers it. Some news in the college basketball world, as always, as those fifth-year seniors continue to find homes. They were waiting for a judge's ruling on eligibility. They just got it last week, 2 weeks ago. But a bunch of fifth-year seniors now eligible and, finding teams left and right. Dan Hurley had an interesting comment on it about, teams that have followed the rules, per se, followed the rules and already filled their rosters. They're getting kind of the short end of the stick with these fifth-year guys being eligible. And, the teams that have filled their rosters, they don't have any spots for them. So they're going easy pickings to all the lower teams who haven't necessarily filled their rosters. Maybe they were waiting for this eligibility, but Dan Hurley he did not mince words when talking about that ruling. So it is what it is. Should be an entertaining college basketball season getting started here shortly. Fifth-year seniors, yeah, it's all about the money. Don't know if Utah wants to see Sook. Well, I think they'd want you. I think they'd want you down there. All right, folks. Well, I believe that's kind of all the housekeeping stuff. You guys are stuck with me for the next 56 minutes. We'll get into some bets, get into some Geo Sports, into some Dubs and L's. Come on back for Afternoon Bet Espresso, 4 o'clock Central tonight. The usual crew, myself, Sook, SPJ, and Vsauce, going to be going over some MLB and WNBA best bets, some Dubs and L's in the NFL. Looks like we're doing the Giants tonight, as well as some good, bad, and ugly. So we got plenty of content coming your way. Um, I did want to make a comment on this, not necessarily about these shotgunning form, because I don't have any room to talk. All right, I don't have any room to talk personally. I'll let the experts decipher that. But I love that the community and real life is so intertwined that we have Jeff calling him Gerald on Twitter. Gerald is not his name, folks. Gerald is just a name given from the betting news community because we didn't know who the hell he was. And now we got Jeff calling him Gerald on Twitter. It just makes my heart big, bro. It's just phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff all around. Love how the community's so intertwined. And, I mean, in regards to these shotgunning abilities, I mean, come on, guys. We kind of knew where they were at already. But again, no room to talk there. Proud 10-second shotgunner right here. Let's get into some Geo Sports as always. See if we can drum up. Would it be 2 perfect scores in a row for Mr. Sook? I believe so. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Drip is here just in time. Drip, freshly brushed hair. Just for your mom, brother. Just for your mom, man. Hope she notices. All right. Let's get into some Geo Sports and see how we do. Drip, you're just in time. Ready to save the day. Let's get Sook another perfect score. Hey, yeah, appreciate it, Drip. All right. Oh, this one's easy. Police, they smeared grease on downtown light poles before the 2018 NFC Championship game in this city to stop fans from climbing them. None other than the Philadelphia Eagles. Am I right? Am I right? Pretty sure I'm right. Right there in the heart of Philly. Question 1 was easy. Question 1 was easy. Whoo, 2 miles off. Officers, they coated downtown light poles with Crisco. Crisco, hell yeah. Before the Eagles hosted the 2018 NFC Championship game, hoping to stop fans from climbing them. Fans still managed to scale the poles. Just realized I couldn't pick out Philly on a map. Right there on the border, Sook. Right there on the border. Not nice metropolitan area for you. There's Philly. I love this game. We're just refreshing all our geography knowledge. And now Sook is able to point Philly out on a map. Gotta love it. A striking teal color scheme introduced by a 1991 NHL expansion team sparked a nationwide merchandise craze in this city. Well, my initial thought would be the Seattle Kraken with the teal, but that's not them. We're looking for a 1991 NHL expansion team. The Ducks, that is so Anaheim. Yeah, Anaheim, the Mighty Ducks, 100%. 100%, Sook. I believe Anaheim's like kind of southern LA. I might be making that up, but I think that's accurate. Jeff, Anaheim, southern LA, right? I'm pretty sure it's in that vicinity. Because they were, I mean, they still are the Anaheim Ducks, actually. Drip dot San Jose. Sharks would also be a teal. I'm kind of liking the San Jose answer. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Ducks are orange, so they are now, but they had the Mighty Ducks, jerseys back in the day with like some teal and some purple and some white. Sharks makes more sense. I think we got to pivot to San Jose. Now, let's find this sucker on the map. Is it like halfway up? Go with chat. I want to say San Jose is like, that's not really halfway between San Fran and LA. Or is it like this guy? Yonder. I think I like that guess a little better. There's LA. There's the San Francisco Bay. Where's Austin when you need him? South of San Fran, south end of the Bay. So like, actually, yes. South end of the Bay, because I remember a bunch of the Super Bowl stuff. I think there we go. A bunch of the Super Bowl stuff, I think, the game technically in Santa Clara, wherever that is. San Francisco, obviously home of the 49ers, but I think like the whole ordeal was at like the San Jose Convention Center, which would add up to it being in the general vicinity of San Francisco. Bingo. Let's do it. I like it. I'm going to hit lock it in, and we're going to be looking for the Ducks anyways, but let's see how it goes. Oh, just outside. Oh, no, 10 miles. We're good. 10 miles. We're good. I saw the double digits. I got scared. 100 points. San Jose. The San Jose Sharks began playing in 1991 with teal jerseys and a distinctive toothy logo. The look quickly became a sports merchandising sensation, and teal has remained the franchise's signature color. Thank you, chat. Indeed, we are still alive. Oh, that little move west by myself at the end there almost cost us, but still 10 miles, still perfect. Let's move on to question number 3. Since 1984, a premier early season college basketball tournament has been played at a civic center in this town. Next answer is Fargo, North Dakota, as in like this answer is in Fargo, North Dakota. That was a troll. That makes sense. 1984, premier early season college basketball tournament. I'm thinking of like all the Feast Week stuff. Oh my God, is this Maui? Is this the Maui? Played at the Civic Center? Yeah. All right. Now, is Maui on the big Honolulu? I don't think it's Honolulu, Jeff. I think it's the Maui. I wouldn't think there's another tournament in Hawaii. I would definitely be aware of that. Pretty sure it's the Maui. Honolulu's on this little island. Is Maui on the big one? This I don't know. I don't know my Hawaiian geography. But I definitely thought Honolulu was on the big island when we've had this question. Where do Lilo and Stitch live? That is the kind of research we need done. Because, yeah, this guy's Honolulu. Know that from past questions. Doesn't look too populated. Maui is west of the big island. Boom. Okay. Well, there's the big island. There's the rest of Hawaii. So it's not on the big island is what you're telling me, Jeff. So it's like that guy. As far as I can zoom in. There's the big island. You know, it's kind of west. More north, but a little west. I think we're going to roll with that. Bingo. Bingo. Show me Maui. Show me Maui. Please and thank you. $99. 13 miles across that big old, probably a volcano. Lahaina, Hawaii. The Maui Invitational debuted at the Lahaina Civic Center in 1984. Grew into one of college basketball's premier early season tournaments. Its compact gym has hosted many of the sport's biggest programs. So apparently I've been lied to my whole life. The Maui Invitational is not even in Maui. What's wrong with the world? What's wrong with the world? Had the island, pin placement is on some other dork. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And hold on. Am I being the idiot? Is Maui just the name of the island? No, Maui's the name of the city, right? There's a city named Maui. Kind of side note here. I can't believe Maui Gym does not sponsor. It is the name of the island. Okay. It's a shame that Maui Gym no longer sponsors the Maui Invitational. It's now the Southwest Maui Invitational as opposed to the Maui Gym Maui Invitational. I loved hearing the announcer say Maui Gym Maui. That was the best part of that whole tournament. The Maui Jim Maui Invitational. The Maui Jim Maui, phenomenal. All right, well, Maui, name of the island. Lahaina, name of the city. The more you know. The more you know. Question number 4, nicknamed the Staten Island Scot. Bobby Thompson hit the shot heard around the world. He was born in this city on the Clyde. The Staten Island Scot. My head's going to Scotland, right? Maybe grew up in Staten Island, but like born in Scotland? I don't know. Clyde? Is Clyde a river in Scotland? Someone help me out. Jeff's got no idea. Where's that big brain when we need him? I have no idea who this guy is. Shot heard around the world? That seems like basketball. I got nothing, folks. I got nothing. Mine's going to Scotland, which is up yonder. Clyde is certainly a Scottish League team in the lower divisions. All right. Would it be safe to assume that's not really a river? Like, it's not really connected. I was thinking, like, is that like a Clyde River or something? No. Doesn't look like it. Is this bay named Clyde for whatever reason? Shot heard around the world. Isn't that baseball? I would think basketball, no?
How many Scottish basketball players or
That's a good point. Okay, this could be soccer. This could be a soccer shot heard around the world.
Our entire problem is we don't know who Bobby Fenton is.
Yeah, exactly.
We have nowhere to start.
Could be golf, West by God. Bobby Thompson sounds like a golfer. Could be golf, could be. All right, we're widening the net. We need to narrow this down. These are all great suggestions. Unfortunately, they're not helping us narrow anything down. I mean, we have no idea who this guy is. We have no idea what sport he plays. He's nicknamed the Staten Island Scot. That makes me think he grew up in Staten Island, but was born in Scotland. Born in a city on the Clyde. We have no freaking clue what the hell this Clyde is. But maybe it's this bay in Scotland. This is a giant L. I'm prepared to see a big red line shoot us halfway across the world, but I think this is the best guess we're going to come up with. Speak now, or else I'm going to lock it in, because we don't really have a better guess. We're just gonna lock it in and pray. Lock it in and pray. Let's see what happens. Geography with fundamentals. Should have just looked for the biggest town in Scotland. Bobby was a famous horse. No way. Can you fact check that for me? There's no way. Bobby Thompson was born in Glasgow, sailed for New York as a toddler. His 1951 pennant-winning homer. There it is, baseball. His 1951 pennant-winning homer off Ralph Branca became known as the shot heard around the world. There it is. Yeah, it was, we were just looking for the biggest town in Scotland. There it is. This guy must be the Clyde. Look, I found the Clyde River, folks. There it is. So small. Not even worth mentioning. Didn't help us with that question at all. But still a 97. Nothing about a horse. Yeah, that makes sense. Baseball player. All right, last but not least. Let's go. We can still get 989. 989 will round it up to a 99. The Raiders. They spent a first-round pick on kicker Sebastian Janikowski, who was born in this coal mining city. This is more world geography than I learned in 20 years of public school. That's what we're here for, West by God. We never quit learning, right? Always looking for more knowledge, including where the hell Sebastian Janikowski was born. Some coal mining city. That's got to be Polish, right? Ski. That's got to be Polish. I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, could it be other Eastern European? Maybe. That's got to be Polish. Ski. Where would a coal mining city be? Probably near some mountains. Poland 100%. All right. But is it an American coal mining city? I would doubt it. I mean, I don't know where Janikowski grew up. I don't know where he was born. I know his last name makes him sound very Polish. And most of the time, these last two questions are like international answers. So that's kind of where my head's at. Not West Virginia. He was born in Poland, West Virginia. I'm not going to believe that that's a city. Poland it is. Coal mining, makes me think are these mountains? No, the green is kind of the mountains. The tannish, that's all metropolitan. So we kind of got to go outside of that. Poland, Kentucky? Doubtful. This looks like it could be a coal mining area. You got the city. You got the burbs. Maybe those are mountains. That also looks like a bigger city, though. Which one's worrying me? All right. Well, I think this is the best I got. I just moved that. I think this is the best I got. In search of Sebastian Janikowski's birthplace. Coal's in mountains, so maybe trying to Paul. Pretty confident it's Poland. But I think that's probably the best we're going to come up with. So, let's lock it in. Let's see how we do. See if we can get, 9? I mean, 989's our ceiling. AI mode. Conversation. City's name, Poland. City's name, Poland. So, yeah, all right, I'm not going to read that. I was going to try fucking AI. Coal is further away from the water. I say south. Okay? Oh, drip. I like where your head's at. That looks like some nice mountains. It's okay, Austin. We found San Jose. We were asking for you, California native, but we found San Jose. We're looking for Sebastian Janikowski's birthplace. Hey, San Diego. Hey, Austin, I saw that. San Diego FC 1-0, baby. Money line in the under. Love it. Here's a coal mining city. Right there, that's a coal mining city. There's some mountains. Close enough. Let's see how we do. Warmish. 206 miles across the entire country. Yeah, that's a RZY all next to each other. Walbrzych? How's my Polish? Sebastian Janikowski, born in Walbrzych, moved to the United States as a teenager. There it is. Raiders selected powerful Florida State kicker 17th overall in the 2000 NFL draft. That guy was a linebacker, folks. That guy was 6'3", 240. I mean, he was a menace. Don't know how he was just kicking. Raiders probably could have used him at linebacker. But Sebastian Janikowski, there it is. 962. All right. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. 30-day average, still climbing, up to a 97. Janikowski could drink, probably. Probably living in Poland for the first several years of his life. I would imagine so. All right, well, 962, so we didn't get the perfect score, but we tried. We had some fun. We learned some things along the way. Let's get into the sports. Shout out Frank Mike Smith, as always, for the Geo Sports. Let's get into the sports bets of the day today. Folks, I officially have nothing locked in on my card today. Not a whole lot of sports going on. Very, very minimal. But we do have 10 baseball games on today's slate. We'll be taking a look at that. And we're going to see what we come up with. We're going to pull up BNN prediction engine, see what tickles our plums there. I'm seeing Trevor Rogers on the bump. Don't hate fading that lefty against the Minnesota Twins. Interesting enough, on the other side, you've got Dean Kramer facing his former team. Doesn't look like he's even made a start yet for the Twins. Spent the last several years in Baltimore. Past seven years, it looks like, spent with Baltimore. It's pronounced some other way, not how I pronounced it, but that's how it's pronounced if you're curious about Sebastian Janikowski's birthplace. I'm not going to try that. But 9-6 GOAT taking the Twins today with Dean Kramer making the start against his former team. How do the 2020 Twins face off against lefties? Not all that great. Not all that great. Trevor Rogers also hasn't been that great this year. 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 2 earned runs in his last few starts. Doesn't have a loss since the middle of June, though, so that's a little encouraging at least. Baltimore looks like they are 7-1 in his last 8 outings, dating back to that June 14th loss against the Padres. Has seen the Twins once this year, way back in March. 7 scoreless innings. 9 GOATs taking the Twins. Let's see what the BNN prediction engine thinks about the 2020 Twins. Pulling up the MLB picks page. I'll put this on the screen for you guys so you can see what I'm rocking with. Oh, but I got to do it over here. Just kidding. We'll get there. Bear with me, guys, as I share my screen with you folks. Boom, there it is. MLB picks page at bettingnews.com. You guys know the drill. Click on any of these games. It'll pull up the BNN prediction engine for you. We're going to go to Baltimore and Minnesota. I should probably actually put it on the screen for you. Here's what the picks page looks like. Obviously, we got every game listed. We're just going to click in to this Baltimore-Minnesota game. Scroll down a little bit. Weather information not available at the moment. We'll get that fixed. But we've got the BNN prediction engine. Basically a coin flip game. Not a whole lot of confidence on this one from the engine. They are liking the Orioles at -103. So if we take that, -103 fair odds, we pull up sports books, take a peek at the odds for this game. We've got the Orioles priced at -113. A little too juicy for the prediction engine. Not, totally out of play personally. But they do technically like the Twins as long as you can get +104. +103 is what I'm seeing right now at Bet Online. But do your shopping. I bet you there's a +105 out there for you for the 2020 Twins, which the BNN prediction engine likes today. Drip throwing out the Braves, the Rangers, and the Brewers. Well, let's take a look. Go over here to the good old prediction engine. Let's look at those Atlanta Braves hosting the New York Mets tonight. Bryce Elder on the bump against Christian Scott for the Mets. BNN prediction engine liking the Braves at -122 or better. Go over to the sports book. Take a peep at the odds. Braves price -145. Again, a little too juicy there on that favorite, even though the BNN prediction engine does like it. About a 55% edge there for the Braves. Liking the Braves better than they did the Orioles. We're going to put that on pause for right now. Drip was also throwing out the Rangers against the Angels. That's just kind of an auto bet at this point, man. Sorry, Austin, but we are just fading your sorry Angels every chance we get. Rangers right now, minus 129 is what the fair odds priced are. You look at the sports books, look at that, minus 112 on the Texas Rangers, better than the fair odds priced at the BN Prediction Engine, meaning the Rangers likely a play, and I'll likely be tailing this one as well. Diving into it a little bit more, we got Mackenzie Gore and Reed Detmers on the bumps for their teams. 9GOAT doesn't trust Bryce Elder or the Mets, no problem. Moving on to the Rangers Angels. Mackenzie Gore, not necessarily a pitcher I love to back. Looking at his recent games, coming off, 6 shutout against the Giants, which is great. 3 and 5 earned runs prior to that against the Rays, Mariners, and Braves. So decent offenses that he's seen at least. His splits do get worse on the road, but I absolutely love fading Mr. Detmers, who's getting the start for the Angels. Last few games, 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 1 earned runs, 6 shutout innings against the Tigers, but then 5-5, 2-5 allowed prior to that. Already gave up 5 earned runs against the Rangers in just 4 innings. Gave up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 of them bombs with a walk as well. Our Angels resident, Austin, says he wouldn't be surprised if LA wins tonight, but definitely the over. Now you're speaking my language. Rangers not super good on the road, which does give me a little pause backing them on the money line to win this game. But looking at the Angels splits, they do hit better against lefties. Not significantly better. But, the team batting average goes up 236 to 238, so it's not like they're slumping against lefties. However, they are slumping during the month of August, hitting just 193 as a team, 214 since the All-Star break, not giving me a whole lot of confidence in the Angels tonight. But looking at the Rangers, not looking at Mackenzie Gore, looking at the Rangers splits, they're facing lefties. They hit a lot better, 254. 254 up 10 points from their season average. Hitting looks like 225 during August, but 242 post All-Star break. So, in the past month or so, right around average for them, despite maybe a slump to start this August month. But, yeah, the over might have to be the play. I wanted to back the over in the Rangers-Orioles yesterday. Ended up backing the Rangers team total. Thankfully, they got it done with 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to clear the 4.5 team total that I placed. The over was sweat-free. Over cleared in the 3rd inning, I believe. But Texas Rangers getting the job done late to save us there. Do we go right back to them today? BN Prediction, sure think so. Minus 129 compared to the minus 112 money line price. I am a little worried about the Rangers being terrible on the road. That's what worries me a little bit. Maybe the over is just the play. Maybe even just a first 5 over. First 5 over a flat 4 at minus 125. I don't mind paying that juice for push potential there. Get the bullpens out of the equation. Just fade these starting pitchers. That might be the move. I don't know. BN Prediction Engine likes the Rangers. Like I said, I will have MLB best bets out after this stream, so you can peep my scribbles there, but probably something in this Rangers-Angels game gonna get taken. Whether it's the Rangers on the money line, whether it is the over, that's kind of where my head's at in that matchup. Last one from Drip. He threw out the Brew Crew, who are on the road tonight against San Diego. Logan Henderson and Casey Mize on the bump. Let's pull up the engine, see what it likes in San Diego and Milwaukee. Really liking the Brewers. At this minus 109 price, San Diego priced about plus 105. Pull up the good old sports book, get the odds for this game. Brewers minus 117. Again, little too juicy for the prediction engine's liking. But, folks, as we've discussed on this channel plenty, this prediction engine is not the end-all be-all. right? Just a tool to use. Definitely a useful tool to kind of give yourself a fair odds price in your head. But you can always make your own decisions based on your research, the stats, whatever you dive into, whatever your process allows. But adding this BN prediction engine as another tool, as another stepping stone to get to the wager, I think is definitely a smart move. Again, Brewers slightly too juicy for the model's liking right now, but diving into this game a little bit more, I don't hate fading Casey Mize. Starting pitcher for the Padres coming over from the Tigers. He has not had it during the month of August for sure when he just made one start against the Diamondbacks, but the Tigers had lost 4 straight when he was on the bump prior to him getting traded to the Padres, making his first start for the Padres tonight. Already faced Milwaukee earlier in the year as a member of the Tigers. 6 innings pitched, gave up just 3 hits, 1 earned run. Pretty solid stats there. Is he going to get the same run support from the Padres tonight at home? Maybe so. But against Logan Henderson, I mean, a sub 1.0 whip, that's tough to fade. Guys, splits do get slightly worse at home, but again, has not given up 3 earned runs, and it looks like 4 outings for Mr. Logan Henderson. Definitely would lean with the Brewers there. Pay for tools, not for picks. B-Dot gets it. B-Dot gets it. And guess what? You don't even have to pay for this tool, folks. Bettingnews.com/MLB/picks gets you to this $3.99 BN prediction engine. Very, very useful tool to use in your research process. Again, just 2 bars of confidence, a little over 52% on the Brewers tonight, but the Brewers might be making its way to my card as well. Looking at the rest of the slate, no real pitchers that are jumping out to me in terms of guys I love to fade. I will tell you, the Dodgers are priced at minus 260 right now on the money line. Tarek Skubal on the bump against Noah Cameron. This game is out in LA. Dodgers are one of the best teams in baseball, arguably the best team in baseball. 7.5 game lead in the NL West. The Royals are worst team, arguably in baseball, definitely in the AL Central. 13 games out of first place, a full 9 games out of 4th place in that division. This seems like a game the Royals mess around and win for whatever reason. I'm a Royals guy. I'm a Royals fan. I hope they do good. I'm very realistic compared to my other fandoms. But this one seems like the Royals sneak away with a win. Am I going to bet it? No, absolutely not. 20-40 on the road for the Royals. Splits get a whole lot worse. Hitting just 245 compared to 230 on the road. They do see an increase against lefties, which again, why I have a feeling that the Royals mess around and win this game tonight. Not going to bet it. Just going to let you all know, don't be surprised when Kansas City finds a win in LA tonight. But as far as my MLB best bets of the day, you're probably just going to have to wait for the scribbles. Like I said, looking at that Rangers-Angels game, going to want to take something there. Might have to be the Rangers, unfortunately. Probably could be that over as well, as suggested by Mr. Austin. Tampa Bay and the Athletics, not really interesting me at all. Freddie Peralta making the start for Tampa Bay. His first start with Tampa Bay, probably good reason to just stay off that game completely. And again, just not the biggest MLB guy here. We've been hitting him great all season long, about a 58% win rate on the MLB season, only 131 bets. So we'll see what happens. But so I'm joining you with the No Baseball Wave. I hate the sport. Yeah, it's iffy. It's iffy, but it's a grind. Shout out to all those who are grinding out MLB winners day in and day out. I'm usually just tackling them the first couple days of the week and then on Sundays because we got plenty of other sports to prepare for. A lot of football going on, which actually brings me to my next segment. Let me get this prediction engine out of here for you folks, and we'll get into some football, putting on the college football brain as we continue the Dubs and L's segment for the last few minutes of this channel. Taking down 2 of them today, 2 teams from Utah in the Big 12, the Utah Utes and the BYU Cougars. Now, these are clearly the second and third best teams in the Big 12. Who's number 2? Who's number 3? Kind of up for debate. I lean a lot more with BYU based off their talent level, based off their schedule, all that good stuff. But Texas Tech, the clear favorite in this Big 12, currently priced at about minus 105 to win the Big 12. BYU about plus 550. Utah sitting at 7-1. What is happening in this state with these two teams? Steelers just signed a wide receiver from KC. Who? Do I need to be worried about that? Do I need to be worried about that, Drip? Who are you talking about? Juju? He signed with Pittsburgh? I'm not seeing anything recent. Did this just happen? Or am I late on news? I'm not seeing anything on Underdog NFL. Unless I just need to scroll down further. Cornell Powell. You can have him. You never heard of her. You can have him, Drip. You can have him. Isaiah Winstead. Yeah, not familiar with him either, to be honest. Cornell Powell, though, you can have him. All right, college football. Let's talk some Utah. Let's talk some BYU. These two teams are, like I said, going to be the second and third best team in the Big 12. They both could compete with Texas Tech for this conference championship. Likely, the Big 12 championship is going to be Texas Tech, assuming they handle business, assuming they have no injuries, playing whoever wins this head-to-head matchup, the holy war between Utah and BYU. Utah getting the benefit of the doubt with that game being in Salt Lake City this year. They lost it last year in Provo. Now they get to host BYU. Will that make a difference? Looking at what Phil Steele likes in these units compared to the rest of the conference, he's very, very high on not a perfect GeoSports. No, not a perfect GeoSports. Very, very high on Devin Dampier and this Utah quarterback. And I get it. He's a very, very good player. But we didn't see him play to the level that we needed him to last year, especially passing the ball. He's also got a new head coach, Morgan Scalley, going to be the new head coach for Utah. More of a defensive-minded guy as well, with Kyle Whittingham going to Michigan. I don't think that gives me much confidence in Utah's offense. Is their defense going to be good? Yes, absolutely. I think their defense is going to be good. But offensively, I think Utah could struggle. They are definitely going to struggle in the offensive line department, where, again, Phil Steele has them as the third worst offensive line in the entire conference. BYU up there with the best. Defensively, both these teams are going to be very, very strong. BYU might have the best defense in the Big 12. They can compete with Texas Tech. Utah kind of just lacking in the linebacking department, but the front four on the line and the secondary should be just fine. Let's talk schedules. I'm going to actually talk about BYU first because I already have a bet on the BYU win total for this upcoming season. We bet on BYU over 8.5 wins in this upcoming season. Minus 130 is what we paid for BYU for over 8.5 wins. Again, over 8.5 wins. We just need 9 wins. We can only afford 3 losses. Can we find 3 losses on this BYU schedule? I don't think so. We start off with Utah Tech. That's a win. Easy. Easy. You host Arizona. Arizona may or may not be frisky. I don't believe in this Arizona team. I think that's an easy win for BYU. At Colorado State. Colorado State going to be one of the worst teams in the Pac-12, if not the worst team in the Pac-12. BYU can go into Fort Collins and get that easy W. Bye week, heading into Fort Worth, where you take on TCU. TCU also coming off a bye. Both teams coming off a bye in this game. This game going to be in Fort Worth. This is one that maybe BYU does slip up on, but again, I don't have a lot of faith in this TCU side. I don't have a lot of faith in the entire Big 12, besides kind of these top 3 teams and Kansas State because of their Mickey Mouse schedule. But BYU should handle business in Fort Worth, get that win. I think head coach Satake is going to have them very, very focused. They came so close last year to making the playoff. They only lost 2 games to the same Texas Tech team in the regular season and then in the Big 12 championship. They have high expectations. That was also with a true freshman, Bear Bachmeier, playing quarterback. Bachmeier is still going to be the QB for the BYU Cougars, but one more year more mature, one more year in this BYU system. I think he's really going to elevate his passing game this year, which will definitely help this BYU offense. Very, very rush heavy, very good running backs, and a great offensive line. Takes a lot of pressure off of Bachmeier. You've still got LJ Martin back there in the backfield. So I think offensively and defensively, this BYU team is going to be fine. I do think they're a lot better than TCU. Again, maybe that is one they slip up, but I've got BYU winning in Fort Worth. I have them beating Iowa State easily. Iowa State not going to be a good team this year with the departure of Matt Campbell and pretty much every starter on that team jumping ship to Penn State. So Iowa State not going to be good. Now you host Notre Dame. And I will admit that hosting Notre Dame makes it a little easier. But Notre Dame is going to be one of the best teams in the country. Arguably the best team in the country. Notre Dame probably on their way to a perfect 12-0 regular season, getting this win in Provo, giving BYU their first loss. But BYU bounces back at UCF. Don't have faith in UCF. There's some interesting chatter around UCF that like maybe they're going to be a Big 12 dark horse with quarterback Alonzo Barnett. I don't see it. I think UCF's going to be bad. Give me a win there. They beat the Sun Devils at home, even looking ahead to that Holy War game against Utah. I think BYU focuses up and gets the win against Arizona State, making them 7-1 going into the Holy War. 7-1 going into the Holy War. I'll count this one as a loss. I think this is a game BYU wins. Again, being played in Salt Lake City definitely gives the nod to the Utes. But both defenses are going to be very, very good. BYU's offense is much better equipped to score points in bunches, which could be the difference maker in the Holy War. For the purpose of this exercise, we're going to call it another loss for the Cougars, but again, could win this game easily. Then they finish the season, Baylor at Kansas, Cincinnati. There's 3 more wins. Easy enough. BYU, I think they can go 11-1, maybe 10-2. Regardless, they should have 9 wins, go over this 8.5 win total. I'm very comfortable paying the minus 130 juice for it. Again, looking at this schedule, they play 5 of the worst teams in the Big 12. Baylor, Kansas, Cincinnati, Iowa State, and UCF. Those are the projected 5 worst teams in the conference, and they get to play all 5 of them. They get to avoid Texas Tech, played them last year. They don't have to meet them until the Big 12 championship. This BYU team will go right back there to the conference championship. I would be comfortable paying the plus 550 for them to win the Big 12 championship. Probably going to be sitting with a hedge opportunity or a great number in the Big 12 championship, assuming they face off against Texas Tech. That plus 550 number should be tasty. So give me BYU at 10-2, maybe 11-1. Either way, over their 8.5 win total at minus 130. Again, 10-2, losing to Notre Dame and Utah. But very, very high on BYU. Moving on to Utah. Looking at Utah's schedule. Talked about them a little bit defensively. They should be good. Maybe a little iffy in the linebacking unit. But offensively, really going to depend on how good this offensive line is. Again, Phil Steele does not like the offensive line. Thinks it's going to be one of the worst in the conference. We'll see how it plays out. Because you don't have a good offensive line, makes everything for Devin Dampier a little bit tougher. Less time to find receivers, less production in the running game, making it very, very predictable on offense. But Utah, fairly easier schedule. They also get to avoid Texas Tech during the regular season, hosted them last year, taking the year off this season. So Utah, starting off against Idaho, should get a win there. Hosting Arkansas going to be one of the worst teams in the SEC. I think Utah, they should win that game. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I like Utah to beat the Hogs at home. And then they should also beat Utah State, who is probably going to be one of the bottom feeders in the Pac-12 this season. 3 wins to start the year, make it a 4th as they go to Ames, Iowa, taking on Iowa State, who, again, going to be probably the worst team in the Big 12. 4 straight wins for the Utah Utes. Then they host the Kansas Jayhawks. 30-point victory. Easy. Don't even have to break a sweat. And you go to Colorado. Colorado coming off a bye in this one and getting to host Utah. Utah maybe in a look-ahead spot as well. Looking forward to hosting Houston in their homecoming game the following week. I still think Utah overpowers Colorado. Very, very low on the Buffaloes this year. So I like Utah getting that win as well. 6-0 start. Now you host Houston. Houston is one of 12 teams, I believe, in college football this season that returns their head coach, both coordinators, and their starting quarterback. Typically, when you return all 4 of those pieces, good things happen. This Houston team was very, very productive last season. Kind of surprised a lot of people. And now they're kind of everybody's darling to be the Big 12 dark horse. And I get it because they do have a very good team. They got a good coach. They got a great defense. But I'm worried that they're maybe just a little too popular at this point. Connor Wegman showed up and stepped up when they needed him last year. Is he going to be able to do the same thing this season? Maybe, maybe not. But I do think Houston gets that win just being at home. Or excuse me, Utah gets that win against Houston just being at home with homecoming as well. All the narratives going their way. Give me a Utah victory there. At Cincinnati, should be a win. For the exercise below, I had Utah beating BYU. I guess we'll stick with that. We'll have Utah beating BYU here. At Arizona and at TCU, for whatever reason, it just seems like they split those games. I don't, after a big win against BYU, maybe at Arizona is your letdown spot, and then you regroup and refocus for that game in Fort Worth against TCU, but I see them splitting those games. Something, I don't know, something kind of just feeling like they split those games, and then they beat West Virginia on a Friday night to end the season. I believe that was just an 11-1 prediction for Utah. Maybe 10-2, again, assuming they lose to BYU. But everything is set up for Utah to get to the Big 12 championship. I wouldn't bet on it. Again, leaning a little bit more with BYU in that game. But your 2 toughest games in conference play, BYU and Houston, both at home. Your tough SEC non-conference game, that's also at home against a team that hardly qualifies as an SEC powerhouse football program nowadays. Shouldn't have said powerhouse. They hardly qualify as an SEC football program. That's how bad the Hogs are. Maybe there's some good things happening with Ryan Silverfield coming in, but I don't see it happening this quick. Utah might go 11-1. Let's put it this way. The winner of the Holy War, the winner of the game between these two teams, Utah and BYU, the winner goes 11-1, the loser goes 10-2. Either way, BYU gets over their win total of 8.5, minus 130. Utah's win total, it should also probably be 8.5 as well. I should have had this in front of me. Utah's win total listed not in alphabetical order. That's conference wins. That's not right. Sorry, excuse me. Here we go. Regular season wins. Utah over 8.5 wins. So same number as BYU, a little bit more juice at minus 140. I'd be more willing to bet BYU's. Same number, a little less juice. Arguably an easier schedule besides Notre Dame. But Utah and BYU both should clear their win totals. Both should be at least 9-3, if not 10-2 or better. And then one of them should make the Big 12 championship. So that is what we've got for Dubs and L's today with Utah and BYU. Again, Utah 11-1 if they beat BYU, 10-2 if not. Same goes for BYU, 10-2 if they lose to Utah, but 11-1 if they win. Regardless, BYU over 8.5 wins this year at minus 130. That number is also moving, folks, because I'm seeing even minus 150 on some books for that 8.5 number for BYU. So go ahead and lock that in, do your shopping, and get that as soon as possible before it moves to unplayable range. And that is what we got, folks. That is some Dubs and L's for you, tackling the two teams in Utah, the Utah Utes and the BYU Cougars, both of the Big 12. We have all kinds of football futures at bettingnews.com. We've got all kinds of college football stuff. We've got conference previews. We've got win totals. We've got bets to make the college football playoff all out there from myself and my good friend PJ Glasser. So please check those out at bettingnews.com. Also tons of NFL content as well from our entire team. Myself, Varun, Justin Carlucci, and PJ as well tackling the NFL. We've got divisional previews out. We've got win total pieces. We've got fantasy football advice from Gretzky Betsky as well, and some fantasy football stuff from Justin. So tons of football future content out there at bettingnews.com, including our NFL betting guide and college football betting guides as well. So go peep the scribbles at bettingnews.com. That MLB picks prediction engine that you saw that we were testing out today, we will have that for NFL and college football. We're going to be rolling that out here in the next couple of weeks. So you're going to get fair odds priced on every single football game going into the season. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you use that prediction engine as part of your handicapping every single day, because we've got smart people behind the scenes working very, very hard to get that up and running for you. Again, football coming here shortly. Going to continue rolling that out to the NBA and the NHL and maybe even college hoops when those seasons get started later this year as well. So all kinds of good stuff happening at bettingnews.com. Peep those scribbles. Keep the lights on for us. All that good stuff. Appreciate you, people. What did I miss in chat? TCU BYU is called the Holy War? No, it's Utah. Utah BYU is the Holy War. Utah BYU is the Holy War. It's the Mormons versus I feel like there's another religion out there. Maybe it's just the Mormons versus the Mormons. Who knows? But yeah, Utah BYU is the Holy War. Fantastic name for that. All right, what else? Fam, you took over 8.5. We can soak whenever you'd like. Whenever you'd like, let me know. The Panthers could use Haynes King in a Taysom Hill role. That's what I'm reading right now on the timeline. I mean, Haynes King's a baller. I think we all saw that on Thursday. Definitely saw it at Georgia Tech if you watched him last season in the college football world. But yeah, Haynes King, I mean, very versatile guy too, because he's, I don't know what his pass catching abilities are. I can't say I've watched a lot of him catch passes. Not the best pocket passer. Obviously, still has an arm, still a quarterback, but his running ability is really what sticks out to me with Haynes King. That was one of my favorite bets last season when he was at Georgia Tech, was Haynes King rushing yards. Don't care the number, just go over. It was priced at like 82.5 some games. Guess what? The guy still ends up with 120. Part of that is the offense that Georgia Tech played. It was just designed for those quarterback runs, a very rushing heavy attack. Part of that also just because he's fearless and he's a big body and he's not afraid to run over a linebacker if it means getting a few more yards or getting a first down for his team. So as a Taysom Hill type role, I don't hate that for the Panthers. I think Haynes King, a very, very versatile just football player that could get used in other positions besides just quarterback. So I would love for the Panthers to try that out and use Haynes King as more of a Taysom Hill type guy. Hilarious that any utility player in football now is just kind of labeled as a Taysom Hill type player. Hill kind of the trailblazer for utility guys in the NFL. So, all right, folks, that is just about all the time I've got for you. Like I said, I will have some MLB scribbles out for today's best bets shortly after this show. Probably going to target the Rangers Angels. Probably going to find something in that Milwaukee-San Diego game as well. Drip throwing out those as suggestions. Baltimore was enticing too. Maybe not on the Orioles side of things, but just that game with Dean Kramer pitching against his former team kind of interests me a little bit. So I'll be diving into the MLB slate, getting the best bets out for you guys shortly. We've got Leagues Cup is back tomorrow, as well as plenty of soccer the rest of the week. Leagues Cup Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got the UEFA Super Cup on Wednesday between PSG and Aston Villa. The MLS is back Saturday and Sunday. We've got the EPL Community Shield as well on Saturday. So a whole lot of soccer this week for you. We'll be breaking down the best bets and more tomorrow and later this week. BTP and I will be live on Friday talking weekend soccer as well. So, a whole lot to look forward to this week, and even more to look forward to today. Come on back in 4 short hours. 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. We will be live for afternoon Betspresso, talking MLB, WNBA best bets, recapping the weekend with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and continuing our dubs and L's segment. Looks like we're doing the New York Giants today, so hopefully my Giant-loving buddy is not paying attention, because we are probably going to shit on that team quite a bit. But I will see you guys in 4 short hours. Come on back for Betspresso, live right here on the Betting News Network. Big shout out to Sook for helping me out early in the morning, and special shouts to all of you guys for being here, tuning in, making it worth our time. Appreciate you guys doing that. As always, same time, same place tomorrow, but see you in 4 short hours for Betspresso. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys later. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about